Welcome back to the potting shed, everyone, and I just want to talk to you today about chitting potatoes. Now, is it worthwhile chitting potatoes? We all know the farmers don't do it because there's no benefit to the farmers for doing it. They don't have the time or the space to lay the potatoes out. But for home growers, it can be beneficial for your early potatoes, your first and second earlies, to chit them, as it gives them a little bit of a head start to have these sprouts coming out if you're planting them in the ground, because the ground's going to be so cold. So let me show you what potatoes I've picked this year. I was up at the not the potting shed, the trading hut at the allotment last weekend, and I got myself some potatoes. So the first bag, I've got a kilogram of Desiree. These are a main crop potato. So I don't think I've grown them before, so it'll be nice to try them. This is a bag of Cara I got for £4. There's 3 kilograms in the bag, and these are the ones that we grew last year. In fact, if I reach down here, I've still got some of the ones. These are what we grew last year. I'm almost finished them. I've got enough for about 3 more meals, so they've done well. So we've got Cara, we've got Desiree. These are main crops or indeterminate potatoes. Right, I'm going to try and explain this. Indeterminate and determinate potatoes. These are my these are a second early. They're called Rocket, and these are a determinate potato. Right, determinate and indeterminate potatoes. What is the difference and what's the fuss about them? Determinate potatoes are usually your first and second early potatoes, and what happens with them is that all the potatoes grow at one level, at one layer in the soil. So slightly above where you put your seed potato is you'll get all your determinate potatoes. Indeterminate potatoes will grow as the stem of the plant gets taller. If there is soil around the stem, then you'll get more potatoes coming out, and this is why we earth up potatoes, to add more soil around the stem and also to cover any potatoes from sunlight that may go green. So if you keep earthing up your indeterminate potatoes or your main crop potatoes, then you should get a higher yield. So that's the difference between them. So why do we chit? If we have a look at these potatoes, there you go. These have been in the sacks for too long, and I've grown these long, white, spindly shoots. Now these are no good. So what we really want to do is break these off, and we want to grow shoots that are more like this one here. You can see the small dark shoots. This potato started chitting already. So this is what we really want. This one here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break these off, and what will happen is it will start growing. If I give it the right conditions, it will start growing these small dark shoots. So I'll just snap these off and I'll put it in there. Now what I'm going to do with all my potatoes is I'm going to put them into these trays with the eye side up. That's the rose end, which is normally attached to the plant that grew this tuber, and these are the eye end, which will grow the shoots for this year's plants. As you can see, there's more of these ones with large spindly tubers on it. So I'm just going to lay these all out. I'm going to break off any long tubers, and once I get the tray filled, I'm just going to pop it in my conservatory. Now my conservatory, although it does have heating in it, it doesn't get that hot. It's an all glass room in the house, and last week we were getting minus temperatures, although this week it's looking a lot milder, but it should be cool enough. What you want is a cool, bright room. So the conservatory is mostly really just like a glass room in the house, but it does tend to get a little bit cold at this time of year and a bit too hot during the summer sometimes. But it's a fabulous place to sit to watch the birds. We've got a small tree in our garden. We've put all the birdseed feeders on it, and we sit there, and you know, you can read a book or listen to music and watch all the different birds coming in. At the minute we're getting a regular visits from some long-tailed tits and some greenfinches, which are very nice. The other thing is that my partner, she uses the conservatory for drying out washing at this time of the year, and she puts on a dehumidifier. So what I'm going to do with these potatoes is I'm going to get a spray bottle and spray them once a week, just to make sure they're not drying out. Okay, so that's the rocket done. Okay, so that's all the rocket done, all the early's done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant these out in mid-March. Now, I'm not going to plant them in the ground because even in March we can still get frost here. And the soil temperature is going to be too cold for them. So what I usually do with my early potatoes is I plant them in grow bags. And I've recently just bought 5 new felt grow bags to grow potatoes in. So I've got some green ones that I've been using for years, but the handle broke in one of them last year, so I decided to get some new ones. Now, as I said, these grow bags, you can grow them in anything really. You could grow them in an old compost bag, you know, just put some holes for drainage, put some compost or soil in a compost bag, put your potatoes in, then put compost over the top of them, and you could grow them that way easily. So yeah, you don't really need anything fancy to grow them in. I have got pots that I use to grow my main crops in, but I want to keep the pots for the main crops and not the earlies. So these are going to go into the conservatory. They'll be there for about a month, chitting away. Then in mid-March, if the weather is okay, if we're going to get any more imminent frosts or snow or anything, we can get this sort of weather in the UK, no problem, in April. So if the weather's okay, mid-March, I'll put them in the grow bags and I'll put them up in the allotment. Then come April time, the end of April, start of May, that's when I shall be putting my main crops out. They'll go in the big plastic buckets, that I use year after year, and they'll go out in the allotment. They'll be half submerged. What I want to do is I dig a hole, put the bucket in, plant some soil around, and that way the compost in the bucket uses capillary action to take moisture in from the surrounding soil. So I hope you've enjoyed that little explanation about what I'm going to do with my potatoes. As I said, it's only a little short one this week. I'm only in the shed and I'm only want to get these chitted so that they don't produce the long white shoots, because it all takes energy away from the tuber. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you want. Give us a thumb up if you want. It'll be great to hear from you, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.